So Bryce had some.
Oh.
So I just wanted to chime in. I'm the director of the Pacific Northwest Defense Coalition. We're a group of primarily government and security contractors from around the Northwest region. One form of venture capital that we use quite a bit in our small companies and as they transition is the SBIR program, the Small Business Innovation Research Program at the federal level. As a tenant of the Portland State Business Accelerator, we work together pretty closely with Dana and her staff every year to try to educate not just the folks at the accelerator, but people statewide about this program. And the state does have currently at least a small program in place to help companies provide assistance for travel, proposal prep, and those kinds of things. I've seen statistics that show that the SBIR, the influence on dollars in the state is nearly equivalent to some of the venture capital that comes here. So I think that's a program that should be continued at the state level and maybe brought into a little tighter focus so that the businesses that are out there, my members, are really aware of what's available to them at the state level, because there are around the United States, Maryland and Kentucky being two big examples of states that strongly support their state's SBIR participants, and I think those are great models for how that program can be done right.
And if I may, as a large defense contractor, it's a way to bring the large defense contractors that we don't have in the state to team with the small companies from PNDC to take good ideas and have a chance to get traction with them.
And it's not just a defense question here. What the programs like this do is spawn new product development and new product generation that may serve a government need, but that is commercialized to a much wider purpose. So that's why I think that's where that program is really important.
Okay. John?
So John Seacrest, Economic Development in Benton County. I spend a lot of time in a bunch of different piles, so everybody has said something interesting to me so far. I really want to double down on this idea of SBIR and STTR. I think our Phase 0 program is good for what it is, but really could be much bigger and would be much more useful for us if we were really intentional, like the state of Maine is intentional about SBIRs. And I think that combined with our University Venture Fund really provides us with something that very few other states have. But then I want to step back a second and say, we're hearing a bunch of little things, and in my work I found it very useful to diagram the whole system, and I think it'd be worth our while to sit down and diagram the whole funding ecosystem from the guy with just an idea and nothing but an idea and 0 employees all the way up to the large industry cluster that's actually using, because there's financial and capital needs all along the way. And one of the problems that I have in the state is that there are programs which are very nice programs for their slice, and then I can't get anything because I'm on the other side of the line from that slice. And so when I work on startups, the state funding for startup activity is not where it could be. When I work on growing companies that are in my area, getting funds to help my local companies grow, I have a hard time finding funds to do that. I have to go do fundraising to fund that effort as opposed to having programs that help me. Our recruitment is the place where we spent the money in the state so far, and recruitment is an important component, but because it's a single program and we didn't diagram out the whole thing, we sort of put all our eggs in one basket, and then we didn't get the economic development that we thought we should get. So by doing an explicit, and I mean very literal about this diagram, I mean a big ass poster that says, here's where we are now and here's where we want to be, and if you're an entrepreneur, start here, and if you're an angel, start here, and walk your way through it. I think that would be a program that would be really useful for us to do.
Thanks.
Since it sounds like you're wrapping up, I want to add from the aviation industry's perspective.
I'm Danny Crossman. I have a company called Successful Business Management, and I work with micro enterprises. And that to me is the largest single cluster that we have in the state. That makes up 87% of the businesses in this state. And there is literally almost no money available to these people out there today, because they don't fit into a traded sector. They provide all the services that we count on every day, whether it's your dry cleaner, your chiropractor. These people that are out there, again, trying to go into business, they graduate from the local college we have here, they try and go out, and they don't need a lot of money, maybe $45,000 or $50,000, but because they have no track record, they have no history, and probably don't have any collateral, no bank's gonna lend them any money. Okay? That's 87% of the businesses in this state. And we have, we've got all these, great programs, and the, venture capitalists and the angel investors are willing to talk to people that want $500,000 or $1 million. And then you go to the bank, and a lot of the banks, they only want to start at $500,000 in their commercial loan department. And then you start down with this, at this $45,000, $50,000, $100,000 level, and it is extremely difficult.